Hello everyone, welcome to Intellipaat's live webinar on how to become an Azure Engineer. Today's webinar is conducted by Mr. Amol Chhabra. He has more than 5 years of experience in the field of cloud computing. He has worked as cloud engineer with many major MNCs like Media Agility, Deep Logitech, and Nagaro. So let's welcome Mr. Amol into the session. Sir, over to you.
Sure. Hello all, and welcome to this live webinar. As my colleague said that about my introduction. Okay, so in this webinar, we will be learning about how to become an Azure engineer, and we will learn about how Azure is changing the market trends and how Azure is moving to be one of the topmost cloud in near future. Okay, so now first of all, let us start with this webinar. Okay, now if we see how to become an Azure engineer. Now in this webinar, we would have this agenda, like we will be starting with introduction to Azure. Then we will see what is the importance of Azure. Then we will see how Azure is being used with multiple organizations. Then we will learn how to become an Azure engineer and what are the exams which we need to give to become an Azure certified architect. Okay, now let us start with introduction to Azure. So now what is Azure? First of all, learn about it. Okay, so Azure is a public cloud provider. Okay, so as we see, it's a public cloud provider means it is available over the internet for our use. That's why it is known as the cloud technology. So it is a cloud provider which is 100% owned by Microsoft. Okay, and it uses wide range of services via internet. So if we talk about wide range of services, so these services will include compute engine, virtual machine, Kubernetes service, app services, SaaS services, PaaS services, SQL, and many more services under a single pane of window. Okay, now if we start with the introduction of to Azure, let us assume I am the user and I need to connect with Azure. Okay, so now if I am a user and I need to use any kind of Azure services using internet, I will be given access to an Azure portal. Okay, now using Azure portal, I can indirectly interact with all of the Azure data center, which will be available over the cloud. So with this case, we don't need to manage anything physically. All the things would be managed. The hardware components and all would be managed by Azure itself. And our only work is to create our resources using the cloud platform. Okay. Now, if we start with Azure, now if we compare Azure with AWS and Google Cloud, you will see Azure is spread across 54 regions worldwide, which is the maximum of any cloud vendors. Okay, and it is available over 140 countries throughout the world. Okay, and if you compare that with AWS and Google Cloud Platform, it is actually 10% higher as compared to AWS and GCP. Okay, now this means if we want to use any kind of service, we are spread across all the continents except Antarctica, where there are no human settlements. So it's logical. They have huge buildup in North America. They build up in South America. Currently, it is mentioned in the diagram. It is in Brazil, but they have one more data center coming inside Chile. Then you can see how vast the structure is in Europe. Then in Africa, Asia, and Australia. So as I already said, apart from Antarctica, Azure would be available across all the continents over the globe. Okay, now let us learn about why Azure is important and how Azure can bring some positive changes in your job opportunity and how by learning Azure, you can increase your value in current market. Okay, now if we see importance of Azure and we will compare and we see numbers don't lie. Okay, so this is according to the data and research which was made across multiple cloud platform, and using that data and research we were able to find that every year Microsoft spends around $1 billion just in security and research and just in research and development for security concepts. So this means if you are working in Azure and if you're working in a data center, your Azure platform would be more secured as compared to data center because Microsoft every year is spending around $1 billion just to secure their platform more and more. Okay. So it is one of the most secure cloud if we compare with any other cloud. All the three clouds are secure. Okay, but Azure provides you with the facility which will give you more security and more security feature as compared to other clouds. Then we have around 100 plus service to be build, deploy, and manage apps on cloud. Okay. Now to manage apps and services in on-premise is pretty difficult. Now Azure gives us around 100 ways in which we can develop and deploy our apps to cloud service. Okay. Now if we see the Fortune 500, which are one of the biggest companies inside the world, out of 500 Fortune 500 companies, 95% of Fortune 500 companies use use Azure for their business needs. Okay. So if we compare 500 and 95% means around 475 of the Fortune 500 companies are using Azure for their business needs and to deploy their application. Maybe they can use Azure for their identity management also. Okay. So apart from servers and all, Azure also provide you a full-fledged identity management solution also. Okay. Now, when you start with Azure, okay, if you compare Azure with AWS, at the start, AWS won't provide you with any kind of free credits. Okay, though AWS will give you a 1 year of free tier in which you can use certain services for free. But if you want to use certain more services which are not free, you are not given any inline credits. But with Azure, whenever you create a new account, so that should be a fresh account, you would be getting 12 months of free service, which is as par, which is same as AWS. But apart from this, you are also getting 13,300 rupees for 1 month as the credits. Okay, so this means you can spend around 13,300 rupees for first month as free. So you can launch any services inside cloud, inside Azure with those credits which are given to you. But these credits will expire after 1 month. So these are to explore any Azure services for 30 days. So in AWS, this is not given. In AWS, you are not given any credits. You are just given 12 months of popular free services. And then if you want to use any service which doesn't fall in free tier, you have to pay the bill. But in Azure, that bill would be deducted from your credits only. And then apart from it, there are always 25 plus services which are always free to use. Okay, and after your credits are over and after 1 point is over, only once you upgrade your account, only then you have to pay for anything. Otherwise, you don't have to pay for anything for a single month of use. Okay, now what we can do with our free Azure account? Whenever we get a free Azure account, and with that Azure account, we are getting some kind of credits. So with that free Azure account, what we can do is we can test and deploy enterprise apps. Okay, so let us assume we are on the verge of migrating to Azure. Okay, and we are getting free credits for first month to test and see how feasible is Azure to deploy our application. We can use this platform to test and deploy any kind of enterprise apps. As for first month, we are getting credits and we are not getting any bill. So in case to test Azure and to develop a development app, there would be virtually no charge. Then we can use custom mobile experiences, like we can use services which are basically used for mobile application like Cosmos DB, Zamin servers, and Traffic Manager for free. And then after 1 month, the data which we are gathering inside Azure, we can use that data for any kind of machine learning, data lake analytics, and HD Insight for data analysis and machine learning, so that we can use that data for further improvement and to see how our customers are behaving. And according to our customer needs, we can build our application with that data. Okay. Now, if we compare the public cloud share in last 4 years. Okay, so this is the data which is released by Goldman Sachs. Okay, and this data started from 2016 to 2019. Now these are the major cloud providers which are currently in use. Now you can see in 2016 Azure was around 8%. Okay, and AWS was around 35%. Now Google was also around 2%, and then there is Alibaba Cloud, which is also around 2%. At the end of 2019, we can see the maximum growth is on the Azure side. It has grown from near 8% to the second largest cloud provider to 22%. In the same time, AWS has only grown around 35 to 47%. Okay. And here the year-on-year growth, if we compare, would be higher for Azure. So Azure has grown more than 200%, while AWS has only grown around 20%, from 35 to 47. But if you see year-on-year growth, the maximum is for Azure. Now, if we see the current trends, market share for AWS is around 42%, and for Azure, it is around 25%. Okay. Now, Azure is starting to take over AWS, though the market share for AWS is still the highest, but the year-on-year growth or the maximum growing cloud is currently Azure. Okay, and then there is the Google Cloud Platform, which is the third number currently, and then there is the Alibaba, and then there are the other cloud hosting platform like IBM Cloud, Oracle Cloud, and all. Okay, for the second number now here is Azure. So in near future, we may see that Azure and AWS are on par. There would be going up and down with each other. Okay, now if we compare average salary of an Azure solution architect. Okay, so let us assume if you are an Azure solution architect in US, you can earn an average salary of around 100,000 per annum. So if we compare that number to Indian rupees, it is around 70 lakh per annum. Then, no, this is not for, I cannot say this would be for the freshers. This would be, if you are an architect needs to have experience of 2 to 3 years. And as a fresher, if you are joining Azure, and if you have given all the solution architect exam, you can expect around 7 to 8 lakh per annum in India. Okay. So that's the average package of a Azure fresher, but that depends on which company or which project you are going. So average salary, you can take around 5 to 6 lakh per annum for an Azure architect. Okay. But you won't, as a fresher, you won't be given the architect role. In the start, you will be given a role of an Azure Associate Engineer. Then after 2 years, as you are started to clear your exam, you can increase your package to around 17 to 18 lakh per annum within 2 to 3 years. Okay. And then if we compare that with UK, it is around 67,000 per annum, 67,000 pounds per annum. And for India, it is around 17 lakh per annum. Now, if we see uses of Azure, okay. Now, if we have just seen that around 95% of the Fortune 500 companies are directly using Azure as their preferred cloud provider. Now, let us take a look at 2 case studies in which we will be learning how Azure works with the two of the biggest company in their sector, Ubisoft and Hewlett Packard. Okay. Now, if we see uses of Azure with Ubisoft, there is a game in Ubisoft which is known as Rainbow Six Siege. Okay, and if we compare, it is one of the player versus player. It is one of the most popular player versus player video game in world, with around 30 million players and growing army of professional contestants. Okay. Now Ubisoft developed and runs Siege in Microsoft Azure. Okay. Now, can you believe a full-fledged gaming application is running on Azure, which is having around 30 million players? Now, where it takes advantage not of nearly limitless compute and storage, but of Xbox Live for compute. Okay. Now, advantage of working in Azure is that you have limitless compute and storage resources. So you don't need to worry about any kind of storage and compute. And apart from it, you would they would also get the licensing for Xbox Live for Compute, okay, which is basically Azure based orchestration platform, which is used for gaming workloads. Okay, so to develop these gaming workloads, Azure has their own managed service known as Xbox Live Compute, which will give you a high-end servers which are basically used for low latency gaming application. Okay, now if we see HP, it is one of the biggest firm for desktop PCs and laptops. Apart from this, desktop PC and laptop, they are also selling their own servers and third-party software services. Now, if we see, HP handles around 600 million technical support contacts per year, and company strives to make every single one a satisfying experience for the customer. Now, to improve self-service and contact center and support delivery, what HP has done is they have built a virtual agent using Microsoft Dynamics 365, which is a solution under Azure only. Okay, and this solution is currently under Azure only. Okay, and if we see with this AI solution in place, HP contact center agents can quickly locate resources using the tool to drive resolution for customer problems. So any problems which are coming inside there with an AI based platform, these resolution can be solved quickly. Okay, now if we see uses of Azure under, you can use Linux virtual machine, Windows virtual machine, manage disk, blob storage. So these are some of the services which we can use free for 1 year, like 750 hours of this VM and 750 hours of Windows machine with this VM type. Then there are the managed disk, blob storage, file storage, and all. So these are the kind of thing, okay, which we can use for free for which we can use as free for a single year. Okay, and then let us see how we can become an Azure engineer. Now, to become an Azure engineer, we have three parts. First is the fundamental one, that is Microsoft AZ900, which is the very basic exam. It will just test you about the cloud platform and nothing else. Simple basic services and simple basic cloud platform and nothing else with this service. Then there is the associate exam, which is basically AZ104, which is designed for Microsoft Azure administrator. So those who are working as a system administrator or any kind of administrators, they can give this exam, Microsoft AZ104, to certify themselves as a Microsoft certified Azure administrator. And for the developers who are on the development side, they can give this exam known as Azure Developer Associate. So these are the two exams which are available at the associate level. And then at the expert level, there are two exams. One is the solution architect expert, which is the AZ300 series, that is AZ303 and 304 exam, which will test you extensively on the architect part. Okay, this is one of the most difficult exam which is available in Azure. And then there is the AZ400, also known as Azure DevOps Engineer Expert, which is for your Azure DevOps related. So if you are a DevOps engineer working on premise, by giving this exam, you can increase your portfolio inside your company and you can demand a higher package, or you can switch to a newer company where you would be getting a hefty hike. Okay, and then inside LMS, we have courses for each and everything inside our for Azure Certification Master, and these plan our sales manager or the technical support team, they can explain you in a better way. Okay, any questions, anyone? Okay, any questions? How different is data engineer? First of all, both data engineer and the architect will start from AZ104. Once the AZ104 is done, you will be moving on to the DP series exam for data engineer, and for architect, you will be going on to 300 series. Okay. Okay. Any more questions? Is there any scope of non-tech graduate? Yes, sir. You can, even if you are non-tech graduate, okay, like there are some of my colleagues who are totally non-tech graduate, they have moved their career and started their career on cloud, and they have now achieved a wonderful growth. Okay, so even if you're non-tech, you can start with Azure fundamentals, then you can go to AZ104, And then in the later time, you can go for an Azure Architect step by step. So yes, even for a non-tech graduate, you have a full scope with Microsoft. Okay. Okay. Any more questions, anyone? Okay. Any more? And those of you who are in the class, I will advise you to please stay, as our some of the member from the support team will also be joining in to explain you further about these courses. If there are no more questions, okay, let me confirm from the support team and they would be joining. So please remain in the call. Okay, I will just ask from the team.
Okay, so thank you so much, Amol, for giving the entire overview of this course. So from here, I'll be just taking over then.
Sure. So should I stop my screen share now?
Yeah, you can just stop it here.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, so hi everybody, this is Arohi here. So I'm one of the course advisor in Intellipaat. So I'll be just taking you through the entire course content which we are going to cover in Azure. So Amol has already given you an overview that what actually we do in Azure and why Azure Cloud is much more important in the market right now. So I'll just take you through all the course content and curriculum and the projects which Intellipaat provides you on the entire training here. Okay, so kindly just follow with me and I'll just take you the entire screen. Just follow my screen. So wherever I just take you. Okay. So here, I think Amol might have explained you that what all courses actually Microsoft provides on Azure. So they have a lot of ample of courses available in the market, but the courses which are very important and which you should know to become an Azure architect. So I'll be just taking you through these courses here. Okay. So here you can see we have a couple of courses available here. You can see we have Azure 104, which is a very basic and important course in Azure, that is Azure administration. So in case of Azure, what happens if you don't know Azure 104, you cannot learn any of the course of Azure. So you can see the very first course we'll be covering is Azure 104 here. Then you can see we have the second course here in this session, it's Azure 204, which is Azure Developer Associate level. So actually Azure Developer, we only suggest to the people who are from the coding background or the people who loves coding or they want to become a developer. For them, this is a course for them. But the people who does not like coding or they don't want to get into the coding domain, this is not the course for them. For them, we have this one of the very great demanding course in Azure, it is Azure Solution Architect. So you can see Azure 303 and 304. So basically in Solution Architect, what we do, we learn the designing of the entire Azure cloud. And this is one of the very demanding course, which is trending in the market right now for Azure specifically. So these three are the very important course which you'll be learning in Azure here. So with these three courses, if anybody who is in the cloud right now here, or they have an idea on the cloud also, so they might be knowing that if you're working on the cloud, you have to work on the DevOps environment as well. For that perspective, you can see that we have this course here, that is Azure DevOps certification course, which is for the certification of Azure 400. Okay, so here I'll just take you through the course also later on, that what the tools will be covering in DevOps, that also I'm going to cover here. Okay, and then you can see this is the fifth course which you provide here. One of the also, like, it's been like 1.6 years that Data Factory has taken a very good rate in the market. So this is Azure Data Factory training, wherein we'll be preparing for the certification of DP 203. So this is the courses which we are going to cover, following courses in Azure, which we'll be covering here. Okay. Apart from that, we have the other courses also. We have Azure Security, that is for Azure 500. We have Azure Fundamentals. So that is not that much demanding. We are getting very less projects in the market for these courses right now. So that's why it depends upon the requirement, obviously. Okay. So you can go for these individual courses also if you want. Now, if anybody who wants to master this entire training, because actually what happens, I'll tell you. So if at all you want to learn Azure, the very, very important course, which I told you, which you have to do is Azure 104. That is Azure Administration. Because if you don't know Azure Administration, you cannot learn any of the course of Azure here. So that is the very first course we'll be covering here. The second course we have is Azure 204. So this is the master program, actually, you can see. Wherein Intellipaat, what Intellipaat has done, we have put together all the Azure training courses in the single course only, where you can master each and every certification in a single course, which will not be only helping you in the upgradation part, it will be helping you with very good job opportunities also. Because here all the people who have experience above 5 to 6 years, obviously now when you look for the job change in the market, obviously you want to become a solution architect or a technical architect in the company, right? And you're also looking for a better package in the market. For that perspective, there are few skill sets which is mandatory for you to have in case of Azure. So these are the skill sets which we are going to cover. So the very good thing which you can see here is that for all the Azure training, Intellipaat is directly in collaboration with Microsoft company. So you can see the symbol also here mentioned on the website on the top left side. So we're in collaboration with Microsoft company for all these courses. And here in this master program, basically we are going to cover 9 courses here. You can see we have Azure 104, Azure 204, Azure Solution Architect, Azure DevOps, Azure Data Factory. So what all courses I have shown you individually, you can see we'll be covering all these courses in this master program also. So you can see we have Azure Data Factory, SQL, and the self-paced you can see we have Linux, cloud computing, and Azure 900 also. That is Azure Fundamental. Okay, so why Linux, if you'll ask me, first of all, this entire training does not require any coding language. Only a basic idea of scripting is important. Whether you go with AWS cloud or Azure cloud or any cloud you work on, a basic idea of scripting is very important. For that perspective, we have added the Linux training in the curriculum only. Then you can see we have cloud computing and we have Azure 900, which is Azure Fundamental. So this is the combination of all these 9 courses which you are going to learn in this master program. Okay. Now, if you see my course content, you can just click on any of the course. You can click on the course 1 and it will be directing you to the course content, wherein you can see the content and the projects of each and every courses in detail. So if I see the very first course, that is Azure 104 training course content, if I click on that, you can see it's 30 hours and 10 module, right? The very first module you can see we have is introduction to Microsoft Azure. Following that, you can see in the same module after 1.8, we have added hands-on exercise there, right? You can see we'll be giving you the hands-on after every topic here. The second module you can see we have is introduction to ARM and Azure storage. There also, if you see after 2.9, we have added some hands-on mention there. So my main motive to show you this course content is that, first of all, if anybody who is very new to the cloud and they're like, or not to the cloud, like they're from non-tech background or they are from completely different domains and they are wanting to switch to the cloud, the best part here is that you can see that each and every topic will be teaching you from the very scratch to the advanced level. And after every module, you can see we are giving you hands-on. All the people out there who are in the IT domain who are listening to me, they very well know that here with the proper theoretical training, your practical knowledge is very, very important in the IT market. If you want to step into the IT, the main thing which they believe in your practical knowledge. So here you can see that after each and every topic, we are giving you hands-on to work on so that you can understand the practical implementation of each and every topic in the real-time scenario, obviously. And apart from this hands-on, if you scroll on further, you can see to the 10th module. Just let me take you through that. You can see after 10th module, we are giving you some hands-on as well. You can see, sorry, not hands-on, projects, real-time live projects. So these are the project 1, project 2, you can see. So we are providing you the real-time live projects on each and every topic also here with the case studies, so that you can have a proper practical knowledge on each and every topic here. Same, all the content follows the same model. If you click on this Azure Solution Market also, you can see here a introduction to Microsoft Azure. There also we are giving you some hands-on to work on. Module 2 also you can see. So every course follows the same protocol. You can see after in every course we are giving you some modules, and every module we are teaching you from the scratch till advanced level, and after every module we are giving you hands-on to work on. Okay, so that's how we'll be following the entire content and curriculum here in this course here. So you can understand the content in a very specific manner, plus you'll be getting a proper practical knowledge also. Okay, so here actually Intellipaat follows 30:70 ratio in the entire training module, wherein like 30% will be focusing on your theoretical knowledge and 70% will be focusing on your practical knowledge here. Okay, that is the main agenda here. And here, as you can see, this is the live session which we are having. So like this only, you'll be having a proper live interactive sessions with your trainer here. So it is a proper live interactive session on the Zoom meeting. The only difference is that like here, you don't have any option to unmute yourself. In that, you'll be having the option to unmute and you can talk to the trainer directly. So it is a proper interactive basis training with the mentors you'll be having on the Zoom meeting here. Okay. So for this classes also, like we'll be having 2 batches. One is the weekday batches and one is the weekend batches actually. So weekdays will be having from every Tuesday to Friday morning 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and weekends will be having is every Saturday and Sunday 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Okay, so these are 2 batches which Intellipaat provides for the live training here. And apart from that, let's suppose if you like, it's not compulsory if you choose the weekday or the weekend, you have to continue the same batch. Whenever you want, you can keep on changing your batches also, because we provide you flexible schedules here. That is a plus point which you get into Intellipaat. And also after you take the session, within 2 hours of a session, you'll receive the recordings also in your learning portal, which you can access for the lifetime. And not only that, Intellipaat is the only institute in the entire India which gives you the lifetime access for the live session here. Okay, so if I talk about the lifetime access for the live session, that means that if at all you're missing any batches or if you want to repeat any batches, you can keep on taking the batches n number of times. It's a lifetime access training which you'll be getting from our side. So like if you talk about the duration for this entire course would be minimum 5.5 to 6 months, minimum I said. Maximum you can take your own time as it's a lifetime access training. Okay, so there is no limitations on the training. You can just take your own time in completion of the training. It's a lifetime access of the content and all the materials which you'll be getting. You can access for the lifetime here. So let's suppose after 3 to 4 years, if you want to re-revise your topics, you can again just drop a mail to our support team and you can again take the entire training without paying anything extra on that. Okay, and specifically there is one very interesting thing about Microsoft. I'll tell you, Microsoft specifically keeps on upgrading its content very rapidly. So you will find 1 or 2 upgradation in every month. Okay, so I'll give an example also. Right now for Azure Solution Architect, the code is AZ 303 and 304. By March 26, they are upgrading its content to AZ 305. Okay, so in that case, there is no point of you paying again extra for that upgradation part only. So here Intellipaat gives you the lifetime free upgrade. So any upgradation comes with this, all the 9 technology will be giving you all the upgradation for free here. Nothing extra would be charged to you for that same. Okay. So you can see by all this lifetime access which we give you, you can just analyze by that here this is a one-time investment which you'll be doing with us. After your one-time investment, whatever access, whatever thing you want, you can just do it for the lifetime. You can access our entire content, curriculum whenever you want, and entire assistance will be given to you for lifetime. So we give you 24/7 lifetime support as well. So if you face any difficulty after your training as well, or after you complete training, you have any queries or any concerns you have regarding any doubts, any topics, basically, you can directly contact my technical team and they'll be helping you with all the queries which you have here. Okay, so I think I'm clear about the content and curriculum here. Let me come to the certifications as well. So sorry, one thing I just forgot to mention here. So for the projects also which you'll be working on, as you saw that we're in collaboration with Microsoft company, we will be providing you the Azure Lab voucher. So here many of you might be having a question that wherein we'll be practicing all the projects. So we'll be helping you with the Azure Virtual Lab, wherein you can deploy all the projects without paying anything extra. So you'll be getting the voucher from our side only. Okay, so that will be beneficial for you to deploy all the projects on the lab similarly. Okay, and then after you complete your projects, we will be moving forward to prepare you for certifications, wherein we'll be providing you with all the dumps and practice papers and mock papers to prepare you for the examinations also. So you can see that here we are going to prepare you for all the examination here, 104, 204, 303, 304, Azure DevOps. So for all the examination, we'll be preparing you. Plus here, as we are in collaboration with Microsoft company, for each and every Microsoft courses, you'll be receiving this training certification from Microsoft. You can see this course. So this is basically the certification which you'll be receiving from Microsoft company. Okay. And apart from this certification, you'll be getting from Intellipaat also, which will be a course completion certification. Okay. So these are 2 certifications which you'll be receiving for each and every courses here. Okay. And once you complete the certifications, immediately you can see the career service here. Will be helping you with the placements opportunities also. So the people out there who are looking for a better career opportunity in the cloud or in the Azure, it's a good news for them that Intellipaat do provide you the 100% job opportunity here. So with your proper training, with your proper practical knowledge, we'll be helping with the placements as well. So the in placement also will be following here 3 steps, as you can see on the screen. The very first thing here we have is the interview preparation here. On the interview preparation, first we are going to have is the mock interview, wherein the trainers are going to prepare you for like 20-25 interview mock calls for you to prepare you on the interview rounds. So you can get an idea that what questions the company put forward to you and how you can tackle all those questions. So we'll be helping you with the mock interview preparation here. Followed by that, you'll be having is the one-to-one career mentoring sessions, wherein the trainer will be guiding you depending on the required skills and your dreams, they'll be helping you the same. And then we'll be working on the profile building. On the profile building also, like first we are going to upgrade your new resume. On your new resume, we are going to add all the previous skills you had and all the current projects and certification which you'll be doing with Microsoft company here. We'll be mentioning everything on your resume to show that you have a good experience on the cloud domain. Okay, so that's how we'll be building your resume also. And then with your resume building, we'll be working on the LinkedIn profile building as well. So I assume that almost everybody who's there online with me, they might be having their LinkedIn profile on their own. So with that, we'll be helping them to upgrade themselves. And the people who does not have the LinkedIn profile, will be building a new one for them. Okay, so that's how we'll be entirely working on the profile building. And with the profile building, then we'll be moving to the interviews scheduling. So once your interview preparation is done, once your profile building is done, we are going to basically schedule the interviews for you according to your preferred job locations. Okay, so there are a lot of people who have their preferred job location that they want to work in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Mumbai, Pune, Delhi. So according to that, we'll be helping with the placements. Not only in India, if they're looking for the abroad location also will be helping you with that as well. Okay, so minimum 3 interviews will be guaranteed from our side and maximum till the time you don't get a job placement. Okay, so let's suppose if I'm arranging 15 interviews for you guys. Okay, and even 15 interviews also, you're not able to clear it, I'll arrange more interviews for you. So that is what I wanted to justify by my statement. So minimum 3 interviews will be guaranteed here and maximum till the time you don't get a job placement. And plus you'll be getting an exclusive access to our Intellipaat job portal, wherein you will be getting to see all the companies which are coming there and what time you have to give the interview, all the meeting links, all the interview links you can find on that particular portal. So let me just show you the portal link as well here. So if you guys want, you can also search there on your website. So this is the portal. You can see is jobs.intellipaat.com, wherein you can see you'll be getting the login ID and password to this portal, where you can access all the companies. So you can see we have divided in few categories, wherein you can see if you want to apply for the big data jobs or BI jobs or data science jobs or Salesforce or cloud programming testing. So we are providing you jobs in different sectors here. Okay. So like that will be helping you with that here. So we have a separate portal wherein you can access each and every company easily on the same. So here we are in tie with a lot of MNCs. We have Amazon, IBM, Microsoft, Deloitte, Mu Sigma, Cisco, Ericsson, HP, HCL, Genpact, Hexaware, Saint-Gobain, Standard Chartered, Facebook, Next. There are a lot of MNCs which we are in collaboration with here. So basically like 80% we deal with the product-based company and 20% the service-based company which we'll be dealing with here actually. So you can expect a very good job in one of the very good MNC here with a good package and a good designation also in the same. Okay, so this is how we'll be taking you through the entire content and curriculum here with the proper placements which will be there. Obviously, we also need your 100% dedication on your training, because here we both have to work together if we are looking to achieve something. Obviously, that is very important. And apart from this, if I come to the fee part, I'll just show you the fees as well. So you can see that for this entire training of Azure Master, the pricing mentioned on the website is 55,005 rupees, right? You can see this is the price mentioned. If I add the 18% GST, it will be coming down to like 64,900 rupees. Okay. But the very good thing is that if anybody, because only for the people who are in the session, if at all by any chance, if you're confirming by tomorrow evening, let's say by 8 p.m., you'll be getting additional 40% off on this course here. Everybody who's enrolling by tomorrow 8 p.m. before tomorrow 8 p.m. So you can just I'll be just sharing my contact details also right now over the screen. You can just contact me. You can either drop me a message or you can just directly call me on that number. So just let me just share my number also. Just a moment. So that's my name actually, and this is my number. Okay, so this is my number. This 9123584192. That's my calling number plus my WhatsApp number actually. So if at all you're not comfortable in calling, you can directly message me on WhatsApp. I'm available from morning 11 a.m. till night 11 p.m. You can call me anytime whenever you want, or you can message me on WhatsApp. I'll directly contact you there. If you have any query regarding anything apart from this, you can just contact me directly there. And if you want to enroll also, if you want to avail the offer which I've told you, you can directly contact me on this number, and I'll be happy to help you with the entire content details which you want further. Now, if you have any queries, please drop in the query box and I'll be one by one, I'll be resolving all the doubts which you have. Okay. So I'm getting few questions, so I'll be happy to answer all those questions here. Okay. So I got one question from Venkat Krishna here, that how different is the learning path for solution architect and Azure data engineer? So obviously there are very two different paths, because in solution architect, basically you're learning about designing of the entire Azure cloud. But in data engineering, you are learning that how you can deploy the data on the Azure cloud. Okay, so obviously these two, obviously if you in data engineering, basically you need the knowledge of Power BI. Okay, so here we'll be giving you a basic overview of Power BI as well to proceed with the data engineering course. Don't worry about that. Okay, So that is a little different, but don't worry, that difference I will be teaching you in the classes also once you join the training with us. Okay. Now, the next question was by Amit. Is there any scope of non-tech graduates to enter into Microsoft Azure Career Path? See, I'll tell you very frankly, Amit, there is no particular, graduates required for this course. I have a lot of people who are totally from pharma or health domain, and I have a lot of people who are from commerce or arts background who are taking up this course. It's not about from which background you belong to. It's basically about your interest. Okay, as everything is moving to cloud right now, and IT, see, at the end, you know that IT has a lot of scopes to upgrade your career to a better future, basically. So if you're looking for a better job in the market, you can easily go with that, Azure Career. It's a booming technology right now. You can expect a lot of good opportunity in the particular domain. So in that case, we'll be helping with the better opportunities as well. Okay, so there are a lot of good scopes for you. Don't worry about that. I've shared you my number, Amit. You can just see on the screen and you can just contact me. Yes, you can contact me 10 in the morning. No issues with that. So any more questions you have, please drop it in the chat box so I can just help you with the answers. And otherwise, you can just drop me a text on WhatsApp as well. So I think I'm pretty much clear with each and every queries here. Okay. So I'll then thank you so much for your time, everybody who was there on the line with me. So I've shared my number already. If you face any difficulty or if you have any questions, just ping me on my WhatsApp and we can immediately contact there. Okay. And so thank you so much for being there. So I'll just stop the meeting as of now. And if you guys want, you can just find the recording of this meeting in few days in the YouTube channel. Okay. So thank you so much for your time, guys. So I'll be just stopping the meeting then. Stop the meeting. Okay. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Thank you.